House will come to order. Members, please take your seats. Head page.
The House is now in session. All persons not entitled to privileges of the floor, please retire to the gallery.
The members will rise and be led in prayer by Senior Pastor Noel Schoonmaker, Second Baptist Church, Henrico, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which will be led by the delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Let us pray. Almighty God, in your unparalleled genius, you created the universe with abounding goodness and extraordinary beauty. As we embrace the gift of life on earth, which you have so graciously given, create in us a deep desire for justice and peace and a keen ability to establish them. Create in us a resolute will to serve others with our words, our deeds, and our influence. Create in us minds that exercise wisdom, hearts that extend compassion, and hands that execute goodwill for all people, especially those who wake up each morning with their backs against the wall. Lead us with your loving power, that we might lead with powerful love. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The members will answer the roll call by indicating their presence on the electronic voting board. Clerk will close the roll.
Mr. Speaker, a quorum is present.
Pursuant to House Rule 3, I've examined and approved the Journal of the House of Delegates for January 27, 2026. Motions and resolutions under Rule 39 pursuant to the provisions of Rule 40 are now in order. Does the clerk have any announcements or communications?
No communications. Just one reminder announcement that your statements of economic interest are due to the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Advisory Council on Monday. There are a number of those who are outstanding, so that's a deadline that you all need to meet. So just bear that in mind. Mr. Speaker, with that, the Speaker in this first portion of the morning hour, pursuant to House Rule 40, requests that you use your request to speak button for the agenda items listed for reference up on the voting board.
The delegate from Roanoke City, Delegate Rasul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, it's not every day I get to say this, but today we get to welcome Emmy Award-winning Blue Ridge PBS, if they could please stand. The Blue Ridge PBS is the sole public multimedia enterprise serving 42% of the Commonwealth. Their award-winning local production team has devoted lots of resources to interests, including helping to educate thousands of school children, and their teachers in this region benefit from the station's educational programming from a safe and trusted environment. This increased investment, Mr. Speaker, by the Commonwealth allowed for the production of Virginia Roots, a journey into Appalachian music. This Emmy Award-winning collaboration with Blue Ridge PBS and the Virginia Department of Education is the first in the nation of any Department of Education. I hope you will join me in giving them a warm house welcome.
Welcome to the Capitol today. Delegate from Lynchburg, Delegate Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for an introduction.
Delegate has the floor.
Joining us in the gallery today is a group from Virginia University of Lynchburg and their president, Kathy Franklin, if you would stand. VCL was founded in 1886, one of the oldest HBCUs in Virginia, and has provided generations of students with the opportunity to secure a college education, many of which were the first in their families to attend college. In 2024, VUL was recognized for having the #1 online Doctor of Healthcare Administration program in the entire country, a reflection of its longstanding impact on higher education. This year, VUL proudly celebrates its 140th anniversary, making a legacy that continues to shape the students across the Commonwealth. I ask that you please join me in giving the Virginia University of Lynchburg a warm house welcome.
Welcome, welcome to the Capitol today. The delegate from Roanoke, the delegate from Chesterfield, Delegate Maida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction and a motion.
The delegate has the floor.
In the gallery today, we are joined by the president of the Virginia Society of Clinical Social Workers and leadership of the society from across Virginia. I ask them to stand at this time. Representatives from Roanoke, Harrisonburg, Charlottesville, Richmond, Chesterfield, and among others are joining us. The society was formed 50 years ago by a small group of clinical social workers in Richmond, one of whom is in the gallery with us today. The Virginia Society of Clinical Social Workers has been successful over the years in advocating for their clients and for maintaining the highest professional standards by embracing professional licensure and regulations. Significant to many of us, they have redoubled their efforts to help fill a great service gap in the behavioral health space. More recently, the Society led the charge for the adoption of the Social Work Compact by working with patrons Delegate Glass and then Senator Ghazala Hashmi, among others. Since its adoption in Virginia in 2024, more than 30 states have joined the compact. Once operational later this year, social workers will have the option for licensure reciprocity in other states in order to maintain continuity of services with clients who move. Mr. Speaker, I ask that the body join me in extending a warm house welcome to this amazing group of service providers.
Welcome, welcome to the Capitol today. And you have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to move that the House take out of order House Joint Resolution number 92 on page 42 of today's calendar.
Clerk will report a resolution.
Mr. Speaker, I'd
The
like to
clerk
speak.
will report.
Yep. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. Page 42 of the printed calendar, House Joint Resolution number 92, commending the Virginia Society for Clinical Social Workers.
The delegate from where they?
Chesterfield?
Chesterfield.
Yes.
That's where you're from. The
Mr.
delegate from Chesterfield, Delegate Maida.
Yes,
You have
I'd
the
like
floor.
to speak to the resolution.
The
Mr.
delegate has the
Speaker.
floor.
As mentioned earlier, I stand to honor clinical social workers as they celebrate 50 years of providing advocacy and expertise to its members. They have also advocated for the dignity and rights of all individuals and communities. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I move adoption of House Joint Resolution number 92.
Delegate from Chesterfield moves that we adopt House Joint Resolution 92. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. House Joint Resolution 92 is approved. Congratulations. The delegate from Hampton, Delegate Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, joining us today in the gallery are the Alternative World Changers leadership team. I'm going to ask that they stand at this time. Alternative World Changers leadership team is a youth-led group of middle and high school students from Hampton and Newport News who are empowered to advocate for change in their homes, schools, and communities. They use their voices to encourage a growth mindset and to discard the myth that the voices and opinions of young people don't matter. They believe through sharing their thoughts, opinions, experiences, and feelings about what is going on in this world around them, they can make a change in the world to help alter and change and shape a brighter future. Their slogan is, "We are young, but our opinions matter." Please give a warm house welcome to the World Changers.
Welcome to the Capitol today. Delegate from Norfolk, Delegate Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for an introduction.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today in the gallery we are joined by clerks of the court from across the Commonwealth, and I would ask if they could please stand. Thank you. The clerks of the court do essential public service across our communities. I want to thank them for braving the icy roads to make it here to join us as we gather here today. These folks are on the front lines serving the public as folks try to navigate the judicial system, and they do it with integrity and professionalism. So please, let's extend a warm house welcome.
Also want to recognize former Delegate Steve Landon as well. You may want to stand and recognize him as well. He left for y'all to get a promotion where he'd have to deal with y'all anymore. I understand. The delegate from Hanover, Delegate Fowler.
Mr. Speaker, I humbly arise to ask the Speaker and the body to grant me unanimous consent to introduce a bill, Mr. Speaker, that unfortunately was late in coming to me.
Mr. Speaker.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Will the delegate yield for a question?
Will the delegate yield?
I yield, Mr. Speaker.
The delegate will yield.
Mr. Speaker, could the delegate tell us what this late arriving bill would do?
I'll be glad to, Mr. Speaker. What this bill is the continuance of a bill we've been working on for, I'd say, between 2 and 3 years, electronic prior authorization for prescription drugs, which, as we all know, Mr. Speaker, members of the House, it is very important for people to get their prescription drugs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank the delegate.
The delegate from Hanover, Delegate Fowler, moves that we unanimously consent to allow him to file a bill beyond the deadline. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The motion squeaked by.
I thank the Speaker and the members.
Delegate from James City County, Delegate Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for both an introduction and motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today joining us in the gallery are members of the Virginia Coalition for Open Government. I ask for them to stand, please. The Virginia Coalition for Open Government is a nonpartisan, nonprofit alliance of citizens, journalists, advocacy groups, government employees and officials, and others who are committed to achieving the greater transparency in local and state government here in the Commonwealth. Their extensive work has included involvement in the creation of Virginia's FOIA Council, the ongoing maintenance of free email and telephone hotlines to educate the public on FOIA, efforts to expand public access to government meetings and records, and other initiatives that have led to legislative reforms. This year, the Virginia Coalition for Open Government celebrates their 30th anniversary, and I'd like to congratulate them for their outstanding contributions and commitment to open government in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I hope that you will join me in giving the Virginia Coalition for Open Government a warm house welcome.
Welcome to the Capitol today. And you have a motion.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I have a motion to take up a commending resolution out of order HJ 76, page 22.
Clerk will report a resolution.
House Joint Resolution number 76, commending the Virginia Coalition for Open Government.
Thank you.
You want to pass it?
Yes, I do.
Well, you want to move to pass it?
Motion to pass this.
You did so well yesterday.
I did so well. So close.
All those in favor of adoption of House Joint Resolution number 76, commending the Virginia Coalition for Open Government, shall say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The motion is agreed to. Congratulations. Okay, the delegate from Chesterfield, Delegate Gardner.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for a motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that when the House adjourned today, that it adjourn in the honor and memory of Evelyn Willanette Morris Harris. And I'd like to speak to that motion.
The delegate has the floor.
For more than 30 years of dedicated public service, Evelyn Willanette Morris Harris played a vital role in advancing democratic leadership and civic engagement throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia. Her work reflected a deep commitment to public service, voter engagement, and strengthening of democratic institutions at the local and state level. Throughout her career, Evelyn Morris Harris supported and collaborated with numerous elected public officials. She was actively involved in coordinating campaign operations, constituent outreach, and grassroots mobilization efforts that contributed to successful electoral outcomes across multiple election cycles. Her work often bridged campaign strategy with community engagement, ensuring that policies, priorities remain connected to the voices of Virginia residents. Her legacy is one of quiet leadership, tireless dedication, and unwavering belief in the democratic process. Evelyn Morris Harris's contributions helped shape policy outcomes, strengthen political infrastructure, and supported leaders who continue to serve in the Commonwealth today, even members of this body. Her impact will be felt long after her passing through the people she supported, the campaigns she strengthened, and the values she upheld. So that is why I move that we adjourn in honor of memory of Evelyn Morris Harris.
The delegate from Chesterfield, Delegate Gardner, moves that when the House adjourns today, it do so in the honor and memory of Evelyn Willanette Morris Harris. All those in favor shall please rise. The motion is agreed to. Delegate from Henrico, Delegate Willett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for an introduction.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, today's invocation was given by the Reverend Dr. Noel Schoonmaker, senior pastor of Second Baptist Church in Western Henrico, where he has served since 2019. Dr. Schoonmaker has dedicated his ministry to pastoral leadership and service, guiding congregations across North Carolina and Tennessee before coming to Virginia, and is widely respected for his preaching and community leadership. Mr. Speaker, on a personal note, Second Baptist is not my home church, but it is the home church for 4 generations of my family. So quite a connection there. And I have been fortunate to attend some worship services as well as the amazing music ministry that the church has. Mr. Speaker, I ask that we give Dr. Schoonmaker a warm house welcome.
Welcome to the Capitol, Dr. Schoonmaker. The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Shin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for a motion.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that House Resolution 37 be taken up out of order and adopted.
Clerk will report a resolution.
House Resolution number 37, commending the Walk for Peace, which is now before you.
Mr. Speaker, I would move that we adopt H.R. 37, please.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Shin, moves that we adopt House Resolution 37. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The resolution is adopted. Pursuant to House Rule 30, the journal shall reflect that the following members are away on pressing personal business on a granted leave from today's session: Delegates Knight and Williams. The clerk will announce the next order.
Mr. Speaker, the second portion of the morning hour is reserved for member requests to move legislation from any uncontested calendar to the regular calendar. There are 3 in that House Bill's second reading uncontested calendar block. If you're paying attention, a hard copy, page 12, Delegate Sebald's House Bill 91, out of the block over to the regular calendar. Page 13, Delegate Rasool's House Bill 181, out of the block to the regular calendar. And on page 15, House Bill 594 by Delegate Simons, out of the block and over to the regular calendar, second reading at the request of Delegate Wyatt.
Clerk will announce the next order of business.
Third portion of the morning hour, member requests for legislation to go by for the day, and if such, the subsequent motion by the majority leader to effectuate that. There are 2 under the category of House Bills second reading uncontested, page 11. Delegate Moorfield's House Bill 62, by for the day at the request of Delegate Tram. And then moving ahead to House Bill second reading regular, page 19, Delegate Converse Fowler's House Bill 187, request to go by for the day by Delegate Wyatt.
Delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the legislation, as announced by the clerk, go by for the day.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring, moves that the legislation as announced by the clerk go by for the day. As many in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will announce the next order.
And, Mr. Speaker, the fourth and final portion of the morning hour reserved for member requests for points of personal privilege. Speaker, I ask that you kindly use the request to speak button to get into the queue.
Clerk will call the calendar.
Calendar for today, Wednesday, January 28th for the 2026 session. Approximately 55 pieces of legislation to be dispensed with, beginning with the first category, House bills on third reading, the uncontested calendar block. There are 9 bills in this uncontested third reading block, beginning page 1, House Bill 69, continuing with the calendar, House Bills 107, 159, 230, 242, 351, 368, 409, and rounding out the block is House Bill 603, House Bills on third reading, uncontested calendar block.
Shall the bills pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 97, no 0.
Ayes 97, no 0. The bills pass.
Continuing with the calendar, next category, page 5, the printed version, House bills on third reading regular. House bills on third reading regular, approximately 20 bills in this category. Beginning, House Bill 2, reducing heating-related costs of living for low-income residents by requiring certain electric utilities provide energy efficiency upgrades. Report.
Delegate, shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 65, noes 30.
Ayes 65, noes 30. The bill passes.
House Bill 3, directing the Department of Housing and Community Development to establish an income-qualified energy efficiency and weatherization task force. Report.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 78, noes 18.
Ayes 78, noes 18. The bill passes.
Continuing third reading regular, page 6, printed calendar, House Bill 6, relating to contraception, right to contraception, applicability, enforcement.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 65, noes 32.
Ayes 65, noes 32. The bill passes.
House Bill 25, relating to railroad safety, minimum train crew, movement of freight, civil penalties.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 65, noes 31.
Ayes 65, noes 31. The bill passes.
House Bill 220, relating to health insurance, tobacco surcharge.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 81, noes 16.
Ayes 81, noes 16. The bill passes.
Top of page 7, House Bill 222, relating to public pools, regulations.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 87, noes 10.
Ayes 87, noes 10. The bill passes.
House Bill 301, relating to adult adoptees, access to vital record.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 84, noes 10.
Ayes 84, noes 10. The bill passes.
House Bill 373, relating to restaurants, food allergy awareness notice required.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will strike the roll. Delegate from Buckingham, Delegate Garrett. Strike
Thank
the
you,
roll.
Mr. Speaker. I'm super grateful. This might be one of the toughest.
For what purpose does the delegate rise?
Speaking of the bill,
The delegate has the floor.
threw me off my game there for a second.
That's what I do.
Well, that's why I don't. That's why y'all will notice that I do not look at this man while I'm talking. He would do that to you. Mr. Speaker, this might be one of the toughest floor speeches I've ever given. Because I got to start off by acknowledging that the most important thing to know is that we don't know everything, that sometimes we're wrong. And so I looked at this bill, which would require that restaurants prominently make certain announcements in at least 6 different languages in addition to English. And I thought, this is bad policy. But then I thought, you know what, Garrett, you don't know everything. Mr. Speaker, I, like you, have a native tongue of rural, but through years of education and discipline, we've overcome that challenge and we've learned English, which allows us to serve in this body here today. Mr. Speaker, I'm not crazy about this bill, but I want to try this just to see how it works. So here we go. In Spanish, por favor, voten en contra de este proyecto de ley. In French, veuillez voter contre este proyecto de loi. And to my friends in Kurdistan, I love you guys. In Kurdistan, tikayad de jeme om proja yasaner donc badun. I apologize in advance. Hindi. Krupaya kesbil kel kelfa vote kare. This is going to be bad, but this is the best I can do. Korean. Ipuba pande tupu hu sayon. And finally, Mr. Speaker, another tongue in which I am fluent. Ease play otve against a iste ilbe. Mr. Speaker, I don't think this makes sense for Virginia. I think it's onerous for our small business owners and job creators. And for that reason, I ask that you vote against this bill. It's simply no bueno.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 63, noes 30.
Ayes 63, noes 30. The bill passes.
Over on page 8, continuing House Bill's third reading regular, House Bill 380 now before you relates to State Health Commissioner trading materials for restaurant personnel, celiac disease.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 86, noes 10.
Ayes 86, noes 10. The bill passes.
House Bill 381 relates to investigation or autopsy of dead bodies, Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, notification of retention of whole organ.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 97, noes 0.
Ayes 97, noes 0. The bill passes.
House Bill 385 relating to alcoholic beverage control, operation of government stores, tastings.
Shall the bill pass?
Sounds like a good idea.
Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 91, noes 5.
Ayes 91, noes 5. The bill passes.
House Bill 396 relating to charitable gaming, Texas Hold'em poker tournaments.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 88, noes 8.
Ayes 88, noes 8. The bill passes.
House Bill 399 relating to charitable gaming, regulations, predetermined percentage of receipts.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 92, noes 4.
Ayes 92, noes 4. The bill passes.
House Bill 817 relating to state and local hospitalization program, Director of Medical Assistance Services, exemption from reporting requirement.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 97, no, 0.
Ayes 97, no 0. The bill passes.
Continuing with this category, top of page 10, third reading regular, House Bill 60 relates to life insurance, health insurance, unfair discrimination, pre-exposure prophylaxis for prevention of human immunodeficiency HIV virus.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 89, noes 8.
Ayes 89, noes 8. The bill passes.
House Bill 67, directing the Director of Department of Energy to identify and develop training resources to advance workforce development in the offshore wind industry.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 85, noes 12.
Ayes 85, noes 12. The bill passes.
House Bill 77, relating to enforcement of federal traffic infractions by state and local enforcement officers, Planning District 8.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 90, noes 7.
Ayes 90, no 7. The bill passes.
Top of page 11, House Bill 343 relating to helmets, local authority.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 75, noes 22.
Ayes 75, noes 22. The bill passes.
And last bill in this category is House Bill 515 relating to sports betting, prohibition on use of credit cards.
Shall the bill pass? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 94, noes 3.
Ayes 94, noes 3. The bill passes.
Mr. Speaker, continuing with today's calendar, page 11, new category, House bills on second reading, uncontested. Approximately a dozen bills in the uncontested counter block spread across pages 11 through 16. House Bill 62 is by for today, therefore not before us. First bill in the block, therefore. Top of page 12, House Bill 63, which seeks to amend and reenact sections of the Code of Virginia relating to Southwest Regional Recreation Authority, certification of Southwest Regional Recreation Area Rangers. Legislative Report Committee on Public Safety.
Delegate from Tazewell, Delegate Moorfield.
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 63 would allow for rangers with the Southwest Recreational Authority to become certified law enforcement officers. Mr. Speaker, I move to engross the bill and pass it to its third reading.
Continuing the block, House Bill 91 is out of it, over to the regular calendar. Therefore, the next bill in the block is House Bill 98. Legislation repealing Chapter 558 as amended of the Acts of Assembly of 1950, which provided a charter for the town of Glen Lynn in Giles County. Report Committee on County, Cities, and Towns.
Mr. Speaker.
The delegate for Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry for the late motion on this. We normally put these on the list, but could that bill go by for the day?
Delegate from Fairfax, without objection, but the bill goes by for today.
Therefore, continuing with the block, top of page 13, uncontested second reading, House Bill 135, now before you, seeks to amend and reenact the second enactment of Chapter 100 of the Acts of Assembly of 2025 relating to the Virginia Code Commission Subdivision Plats Work Group. This legislation report committee on county, cities, and towns.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House, House Bill 135 continues a work group that we established under a bill that we passed last year. We wanted local governments and developers and a bunch of stakeholders to look at ways to streamline the site plan approval process in localities across the Commonwealth so that we could get housing supply on, moving faster. The group almost came to consensus in time for the end of the session, but they asked for a little more time. This bill gives them one more year to complete their work. It'll be the will of the body to engross the bill and pass it to its third reading.
House Bill 181 is out of the block to the regular calendar. Next up in the block, therefore, is House Bill 248. Legislation seeks to amend and reenact Sections of the Code of Virginia relating to interjurisdictional law enforcement agreements, behavioral health co-response teams. Legislation Report Committee on Public Safety.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 248 allows multi-jurisdictional co-response teams as an acceptable form of interjurisdictional law enforcement agreements. The teams that I am referring to are the crucial teams that are being formed to respond to someone who is in mental crisis, and as we move and try to have coverage throughout the Commonwealth, this will help jurisdictions who may not be able to sustain one on just within their own jurisdiction. It will be the pleasure of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its second reading.
Continuing with the uncontested second reading block, top of page 14, bill before you next is House Bill 347, which seeks to amend and reenact Section Code of Virginia relating to military and emergency laws, local emergency management plans. It's legislation support committee on public safety.
Delegate from Rockbridge, Delegate McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 347 is seeking to amend the Code of Virginia relating to local emergency management plans. Currently, local governments are required to review and adopt these plans every 4 years. This would change that to 5 years to align with FEMA's guidelines. Excuse me. Mr. Speaker, I ask that this bill be engrossed and passed to the third reading.
House Bill 349 is next. It seeks to amend and reenact a portion of the Code of Virginia relating to the Department of Emergency Management, emergency services, and disaster preparedness programs, inclusion of federally recognized tribes. Legislation, again, report to Committee on Public Safety.
Delegate from Rockbridge, Delegate McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a tickle in my throat, so bear with me here. House Bill 349 is a piece of legislation that I'm carrying for the Tribal Commission. This bill would allow the Virginia Department of Emergency Management to include federally recognized tribes in Virginia as it relates to preparedness plans, responding to and recovering from disasters. Mr. Speaker, I ask that this bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Next up in the block is House Bill 454, legislation to amend and reenact two sections of the Code of Virginia relating to the Department of Criminal Justice Services, powers and duties, local and regional jails, repeal of Model Addiction Recovery Program. Legislation Support Committee on Public Safety.
The delegate from Henrico County, Delegate Willett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, HB 454 removes the requirement that the Department of Criminal Justice Services develop a model addiction recovery program for local and regional jails. Instead, we will have funding to redirect that through the budget to the jail mental health pilot program, which may be administered by jail and sheriff personnel. Mr. Speaker, I move this bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Top of page 15, continuing with the uncontested block, House Bill 455 seeks to amend and reenact different sections of the Code of Virginia, this time relating to the Virginia Opioid Use Reduction in Jail-Based Substance Use Disorder Treatment and Transition Fund. Grant proceeds. Legislation again, report Committee on Public Safety.
Delegate from Henrico, Delegate Willett.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. HB 455 requires the grant procedure governing funds awarded to local and regional jails for substance use disorder treatment and reentry services set grant terms of up to 3 years and require the applicants to submit a plan demonstrating the financial sustainability of that within the grant period. Mr. Speaker, I hope there'll be the will of the body to engross this bill and pass it to its third reading.
House Bill 594 is out of the block over to the regular calendar. Therefore, next up in the block is House Bill 655. This legislation seeks to amend and reenact two sections of the Code of Virginia relating to zoning, manufactured housing. Legislation report committee on county, cities, and towns with amendment nature of a substitute.
Delegate from Prince William, Delegate Maldonado.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, HB 655 helps us to address the housing crisis and inventory limitations. It amends zoning laws to permit manufactured housing in all zoning districts where site-built single-family homes is allowed, rather than limiting the requirements to agricultural districts. Under current law, manufactured housing is often restricted to limited zoning districts or subject to standards that functionally exclude it, even where site-built housing is permitted. These restrictions reduce housing options and contribute to supply shortages, particularly for lower and moderate income households. Manufactured housing is an important source of affordable home ownership, generational wealth, and housing stability. I hope it will. And we need to move this committee substitute.
Hello.
Thank you. Sorry.
Does the committee substitute do the same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker.
Shall the substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The committee substitute is agreed to. Now, what's the bill do?
My apologies, Mr. Speaker. In closing, I move that this body engross the bill and pass it to its third reading. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Continuing with the block over on top of page 16, House Bill 657. This legislation would provide a new charter for the town of Louisa and Louisa County and repeal Chapter 68 of the Acts of Assembly of 1972 as amended, which provided a charter for the city, for the charter for the town of Louisa. This legislation was reported to Committee on Counties, Cities, and Towns.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this bill go by for the day.
Without objection, HB 657 goes by for the day.
House Bill 726, now before you, as legislation to amend and reenact a section of the Code of Virginia relating to credit for time spent in confinement while awaiting trial, extradition, or fugitive warrant. Legislation for Committee on Public Safety.
The delegate from Franklin County, Delegate Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. HB 726 was a bill at the request of Virginia Criminal Justice Conference. And, Mr. Speaker, this bill simply allows a person who's been arrested outside of the Commonwealth of Virginia for a charge in the Commonwealth of Virginia to get credit for the time served while they're in the other state. Current law does not allow that. So, Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
And rounding out second reading on contested calendar block is House Bill 764, legislation that seeks to amend and reenact a portion of the Code of Virginia relating to public utilities, discounted water and sewer fees, Town of Hurt. Legislation for Committee on County, Cities, and Towns.
Delegate from Campbell, Delegate Zier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill would add the city of Hurt, the town of Hurt, to the municipalities list of those allowed to offer discounted rates for low-income, elderly, and disabled customers. I hope it is the will of the body to engross and move this to its third reading.
Shall the bills be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bills are engrossed and pass the third reading.
Continuing with today's calendar, new category, House bills on second reading, regular calendar, approximately 16 or so bills in this category, beginning on page 17. First bill up, House Bill 80 by Delegate Price. This legislation seeks to amend and reenact a section of the Code of Virginia relating to civilian deaths in custody, failure to comply with annual report, funding for local and regional adult correctional facilities, legislation report Committee on Public Safety. Mr. Speaker, with amendment.
Delegate from Newport News, Delegate Price.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I move the committee amendment.
Shall the committee amendment be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendment is agreed to.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, House Bill 80 builds on our work from last year to establish the Virginia Deaths in Custody Reporting Act, and that is for any and all deaths that occur while someone is in law enforcement custody or incarcerated in local and regional jails or DOC facilities. We worked with stakeholders to modify the original bill in order to reduce duplicate reporting and to make sure that the facilities were reporting to the correct agency. However, Mr. Speaker, after the reports were supposed to come in, I was truly disappointed to see that so many of the entities that were supposed to report had not. And thus, the department and board were unable to offer meaningful suggestions on how to reduce deaths that occurred while in custody. In line with the federal level Deaths in Custody Act, the original bill stated that any law enforcement agency or state or juvenile correctional facility that fails to comply at the discretion of the department could be declined state grants or funds. And so House Bill 80 further clarifies that any agencies and facilities, adult agencies and facilities that fail to comply, the governor could make an order directing the comptroller to withhold all or part of further payment to such adult correctional facilities. So we do hope that this would be an incentive for all of the reports to come in a timely manner. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I would move, I would hope that the body would engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
House Bill 101 is legislation to amend and reenact Section of the Code of Virginia relating to applications for concealed handgun permits. Legislation Report Committee on Public Safety.
Delegate from Giles County, Delegate Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, House Bill 101 is a pretty simple bipartisan bill. Just to be clear, it does not in any way create a new method for people to apply for CHPs. All it does is align the code section with what is already permissible by law. Importantly, this was a request by the Circuit Clerks Association that Delegate Hernandez recognized earlier this morning. So I hope it's the pleasure of the House to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Turning to page 18 of the printed calendar, continuing with the second reading regular. Next up is House Bill 153, legislation to amend the Code of Virginia relating to siting of data centers, site assessment, high energy use facility. Legislative support committee on county, cities, and towns with amendment nature substitute.
Delegate from Prince William, Delegate Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee substitute.
Shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The committee substitute is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, House Bill 153 is a transparency measure. It would require locality before siting a data center or high energy use facility to look at two issues, one being sound, if it's near a residential area. The other would be declaring where infrastructure for utilities is going to go in relation to the data center. There's also a permissive section around forestry, farmland, and water. I hope it is the will of the body to engross the bill and pass on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed on to third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
Next up is House Bill 164. This legislation seeks to amend and reenact different sections of the Code of Virginia, this time relating to housing for local employees, grants for home ownership. Again, Legislative Support Committee, County, Cities, and Towns, this time with an amendment.
Shall the delegate from Prince William, Delegate Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee amendment.
I was there. Shall the committee amendment be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. Committee amendment is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 164 seeks to improve an already existing program whereby localities are able to use local funds in order to help subsidize the living costs of Summit County employees, think sworn officers like police, firefighters, and teachers. And this bill would merely lift the cap that was existing previously at $25,000, given the rapid increase of the cost of housing throughout the Commonwealth, and this would eliminate the cap. I hope this will of the body to engross the bill and pass on to its third reading.
Delegate from Bedford, Delegate Griffin.
Mr. Speaker, speaking to the bill.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So this is a bill by government to raise the cap so that government workers can get free housing from the government. So I want to set the table here because we are facing, at some point, a recession. 35% of American homeowners, or excuse me, 35% of Americans don't own a home. And so here's a Democrat bill where Democrats are going to allow government workers to be given homes for free. And so this previously existed, but prior to this, there was a limit on how much free grant money a locality could give to a government worker. And Democrats saw that and they said, nah, let's let them have as much money as possible of taxpayer money to buy themselves houses. This is extremely tone deaf. I cannot believe that you guys are putting this bill forward during a recession. Half the bills that we're talking about are housing bills. And y'all have a litany of bills that are going to put apartment complexes on every street corner throughout Virginia because you say you're so focused on housing. When we talk about affordability, I thought it was like affordability of the people that we represent, not for the government workers, guys. I think that we really need to refocus. Are we here to serve like the people that we represent? Is government here to represent certain people? Or do the people, are they out there to pay for things for government workers? People are asking me, why are there, I know that the legislature here wants to raise statewide taxes. And I know that there's a number of bills where they're going to allow localities to raise taxes. And people are asking me, Mr. Speaker, why do the Democrats want to raise taxes? Why do they want to allow localities to raise taxes? And apparently, with House Bill 164, it's so that we can provide free housing to government workers. I think it's an outrage. And I would ask you to vote no on this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Delegate from Prince William, Delegate Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would just like to comment on the legislation. I do have great respect for my colleagues across the aisle, and I would not want any of them to be embarrassed in the future on a particular vote tomorrow. I would just like to let the delegate know that it was, in fact, a Republican House that initially passed this measure, giving localities the ability to do it. And that I would also like to add, Mr. Speaker, that in the heights of the 2008 crisis, 1 year later in 2009, as Virginians were struggling, a Republican House raised the cap, therefore allowing localities to help firefighters and police officers. Mr. Speaker, I dare say to vote against this bill would be to deny police officers and firefighters affordable housing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Helmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, speaking to the bill.
The delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I heard the delegate from Bedford say we should serve our constituents and not government workers, but I want to talk a lot about our constituents for a moment. I represent many government workers, folks who, like us, have stood up and sworn an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, folks who every day make sure that we can have a driver's license or clear the roads with snow, or go in and make sure that our military continues to function. These are people every day who go into county and local and city government and make sure that it works for the people. And at least in our community, my constituents, those who work for government, too often, they can afford to live in our community. They're working hard every day, and they can't afford to live there. And that is why it is exciting that this General Assembly in the past, on a bipartisan basis, has passed grants to ensure that the people who work for us can live in the communities that they work for. That's what this bill is about. But in my community today, in our communities here, in all of our communities, in all of our constituencies, government workers are suffering. They're suffering because this White House doesn't respect the work that they do. They've cut their jobs. They've terrorized them. And we, as one of the largest employers of government workers in the country, people who, like us, every day get up to serve, ought to be fighting for them, not denigrating them. And I'm proud to do it. I'm proud to be supporting this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Set out a debate. The delegate from Roanoke, Delegate McNamara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaking to the bill.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So when we want to look out for government workers, we want to look out for government workers. We also want to look out for people that are unemployed, people that are not government workers, people that are private sector workers. We want to look out for all Virginians. And we have that opportunity to do that by making life more affordable. What this is a feel-good bill that pushes the responsibility to the local government. So we can sit in our swings and say, look at what we've done in the General Assembly to make life more affordable. Well, what we have done is we passed a hidden tax increase to the local residents. We've said, here, local government, because we refuse to take action on items that will really lower the cost to our citizens, instead, local government, you go tax the other people in your local government so that you can create this, make housing affordable for certain of your employees. That's not making life affordable for Virginians. That is passing the buck to local government and saying, local government, you take care of it. A hidden tax increase. I vote us all to not support the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed to third reading? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to its third reading.
House Bill 168 now before you seeks to amend and reenact sections of the Code of Virginia related to elections of certain governing bodies, conversion to single-member district. This legislation reports committee on county, cities, and towns with amendment nature substitute.
Delegate from Virginia Beach, Delegate Askew.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move the committee substitute.
Shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Committee substitute is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, HB 168, as substituted, is about fair rules and keeping faith with the voters in our largest localities. In cities and counties over 400,000 people, we need a system where accountability is clear and representation is direct. This bill says that in those localities, members of the governing body must be elected by districts or wards so that every neighborhood knows exactly who speaks for them. The mayor can still be elected at large, but seats that make the decisions are tied to communities on the ground. Mr. Speaker, every Virginia locality over 400,000 individuals already uses districts. Those include Loudoun, Prince William County, and some others. This doesn't disrupt that. In speaking, and it seems to be an issue that may arise this year. We're looking at it today. Virginia Beach, this bill will answer a very specific mandate that we saw in November, where the voters overwhelmingly voted for the 10-1 district system. We have tried again and again to enshrine this choice in its charter and hit many roadblocks. Mr. Speaker, this is about fair maps and clear accountability, and I hope it's the will of the body to engross this bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Top of page 19, House Bill 187 is by for the day. Next up, therefore, second reading regular is House Bill 249. It seeks to amend and reenact Section Code of Virginia relating to Marcus Alert System, external database information removal. Legislative Report Committee on Public Safety.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 249, as the clerk indicated, is a bill that is part of the Marcus Alert administration for people who have severe mental crisis and who voluntarily wish to have information on the database so that when the 911 call comes in, the response can be more readily appropriate to that individual. Statute requires that information that is there for anyone who's under 18 is removed when the person turns 18, and localities do that. However, this clarifies that localities often use databases where the individual has voluntarily put the information on this database, but the locality does not have the ability to remove it from the database. This clarifies then that this is the localities do not have the responsibility to remove this voluntary information. I hope it will be the pleasure of the body to engross the bill, pass it to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Turning to page 20, House Bill 352 is legislation to amend and reenact Sections Code of the Virginia relating to local authority, affordable housing performance grant programs. Legislative Report Committee on County, Cities, and Towns.
Delegate from Prince William, Delegate Thomas.
Mr. Speaker, House Bill 352 merely puts guardrails on an existing right that localities have to establish their own affordable grant programs for housing. A great example is the city of Richmond, which already used this right and has created to date 3,000 affordable housing units that otherwise would not exist without such a program. We seek now to put some sensible guardrails on it so that other localities may join in and create more affordable housing for their localities. I hope it is the will of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed the third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Continuing page 20, House Bill 552 now before you seeks to amend and reenact portions of the Acts of Assembly of 2009, which provided a charter for the city of Williamsburg relating to elections, finance director, and city budget. Legislative Report Committee on County, Cities, and Towns.
Delegate from James City County, Delegate Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, HB 552 is a bill requested by the City of Williamsburg to make 3 minor amendments to its charter. The first amendment is related to the timing of local city council elections. The city charter is not in alignment with the city code change from several years ago that mandated local council elections take place in November. This language is outdated and should be changed. Second amendment simply redesignates the title of the city's finance director to chief financial officer to be more in line with other departmental leadership roles within the city. And finally, the third amendment updates their terminology to reflect current municipal accounting standards and includes language changes to accurately describe how the city organizes its funds. With that, Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed the third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Next up is House Bill 612, providing for the submission of the voters of a proposed amendment to Section 15A of Article 1 of the Constitution of Virginia relating to marriage between 2 adult persons, repeal of same-sex marriage prohibition. Legislation Report Committee on Privileges and Elections with an amendment nature as substitute.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Cohen.
Mr. Speaker, first I'd ask to move the substitute.
Shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The committee substitute is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, HB 612 is the language that will be used on the ballot for our proposed constitutional amendment, HJ3, which would repeal the same-sex marriage prohibition in the Constitution of Virginia. As many of you know, I inherited this bill after our esteemed colleagues, Delegate Sickles, was appointed to the administration. And these last few weeks, I confess, I've been a bit overwhelmed as I tried to stand in his shoes and do right by him. But I'm not Mark Sickles, and like every LGBTQ person, our stories are uniquely ours. For me, I wasn't even the first LGBTQ person in our family, let alone one of the very first in this august body's history. To be clear, Secretary Sickles got it right when he told us that this amendment is a happiness amendment, one about joy and love. When Virginians vote in favor of this amendment, it will ensure that all Virginians are treated equally under the state constitution, affirm the dignity and rights of all families in our Commonwealth, and mirror existing law. Mr. Speaker, it's past time our Constitution reflects our commitment to the protection of all Virginians. In 2006, this Commonwealth got it wrong. In the 20 years since, an entire generation has been born and is now old enough to vote. Let us hope and pray that this time our Commonwealth can get it right and lead with love. After all, Virginia is indeed for lovers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd ask that this bill be engrossed and move to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Top of page 21, next bill and second reading regular, House Bill 700. House Bill 781 would provide for submission to the voters of a proposed amendment to the Constitution of Virginia by adding in Article 1 a section numbered 11A relating to fundamental right to reproductive freedom. This legislation also reported to the Committee on Privileges and Elections.
Delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. HB 781 contains a ballot enactment language for HJ1, the constitutional amendment protecting reproductive freedom. The bill provides that the proposed constitutional amendment will be on the ballot the first Tuesday after the first Monday of November 2026, and asks whether the Constitution should be amended to protect personal decisions about reproductive health care, protect health care workers and professionals from punishment for providing reproductive health care, and allow restrictions on abortion access during the third trimester of pregnancy, except when the patient's health is at risk or the pregnancy cannot survive. I move that the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed the third reading? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Next up is House Bill 804, legislation to amend and reenact portions of the Code of Virginia relating to statewide housing targets for localities. This legislation reported committee on county, cities, and towns.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Helmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, House Bill 804 is similar to a bill that passed this body last year. It establishes housing targets for localities to increase the supply of housing. As we know, housing supply is critical to making housing costs go down. It rewards high-performing localities, provides a menu of options to ensure local input and control over zoning decisions, and I hope it's the will of the body to engross this bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed the third reading? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Next up, Mr. Speaker, is House Bill 816, legislation to amend the Code of Virginia relating to zoning by right multifamily development. This legislation reported to county, cities, and towns with amendments.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Helmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move the committee amendments.
Shall the committee amendment be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The committee amendment is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 816, as amended, also is a housing supply bill. It ensures that at least 75% of the land zoned for commercial or business use is also zoned for residential building. I hope it is the will of the body to engross this bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and pass the third reading? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed the third reading.
Over on page 22, continuing with this category, House Bill 963. Now before you, provide for the submission to the voters of a proposed amendment to Section 1 of Article 2 of the Constitution of Virginia relating to qualification of voters, right to vote, persons not entitled to vote. Legislation Report Committee on Privileges and Elections.
Delegate from Newport News, Delegate Price.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 963 is the referendum bill for House Joint Resolution 2. Lines 1 through 43 describe how the Constitution would change if the proposed constitutional amendment passes, creating an affirmative right to vote for all eligible voters, and establishing that upon release, those who lost their right to vote due to felony convictions convictions will automatically have their voting rights restored. Lines 44 through 50 are how the question will appear on the ballot. Lines 51 through 67 are instructions on how to carry out the election for which this ballot will appear in November of this year. And I hope it is the will of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed to third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
We're continuing with the calendar, picking up the three bills that have moved over, going back to page 12 if you're following along that way. Bill before you next is House Bill 91, directing the Department of Juvenile Justice to establish standards relating to limiting room or cell confinement for minors committed to a juvenile correctional facility. Legislation reported for the Committee on Public Safety.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Sebo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, HB 91 directs the Department of Juvenile Justice to study the effects of extended room confinement and to set a minimum amount of daily time for incarcerated youth to spend outside of their rooms. This bill stems from serious incidents at Bon Air Juvenile Detention Center and the work of the Commission on Youth. They found that the excessive confinement likely contributes to the slowed brain development and behavioral problems of our children. This bill will set clear standards to prevent excessive isolation and will protect youth in custody in Virginia. Mr. Speaker, I hope it is the will of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed to third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
Pentultimately, page 13, House Bill 181. This legislation now before you seeks to amend and reenact portion of the Code of Virginia relating to affordable dwelling unit program in the city of Roanoke. Legislation also is reported to the Committee on County, Cities, and Towns, this time with an amendment nature substitute.
Delegate from Roanoke City, Delegate Russell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the committee substitute.
Shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The committee substitute is agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, the House Bill 181, as it came to you, added Roanoke to the list of localities that could have an ordinance around affordable dwelling units when you have a new development, having a small percentage of the development to ensure that it is affordable for those who are especially serving our communities, like law enforcement, teachers, firefighters. The substitute that is before you puts a reenactment clause on the bill, but it asks Virginia Housing now to analyze the efficacy of implementing such a policy. I hope it be the pleasure of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed to third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
And last bill in this category, House Bill 594. Legislation seeks to amend and reenact portions of the Code of Virginia relating to expedited approval for certain affordable housing developments. Legislation reported to the county, cities, and towns.
The delegate from Newport News, Delegate Simons.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, HB 594 allows localities by ordinance to create an administrative, expedited approval process for affordable housing developments in appropriate areas with access to infrastructure or services. I hope it will be the will of the body to engross the bill and pass it on to its third reading.
Shall the bill be engrossed and passed to third reading? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to third reading.
And, Mr. Speaker, on page 22, the commending resolutions laid on the Speaker's table has been dispensed with. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, that completes work of today's calendar.
Per House Rule 51, the House has returned to the morning hour. Does the clerk have any additional announcements or communications?
No communications, just several announcements for the meeting schedule this afternoon and tomorrow morning, which are as follows. Committee on Appropriations, 15 minutes. Committee on Appropriations is going to meet 15 minutes upon adjournment up on the 12th floor. Once the full committee is dispensed with its docket, then their Transportation and Public Safety Subcommittee will be meeting, and then once that sub is finished, then Appropriations, Commerce, Ag, and Natural Resources Subcommittee will be meeting. So Appropriations and two subs thereafter, 15 minutes after adjournment on the 12th floor. 15 minutes after adjournment of the House, approximately 1:30-ish, the Committee on Finance will be meeting. They'll be on the second floor in the House Committee Room B. Once House Committee on Finance is finished, the Committee for Courts of Justice, they will meet 15 minutes upon adjournment of the Finance Committee. They'll be next door in House Room C. So full committee on House Room C, and then 15 minutes after adjournment of the full committee, the two subcommittees will, of course, be meeting. Criminal sub will be meeting in House Room C, the same room as the full committee, and the civil subcommittee will be meeting in the North Subcommittee room just down the hall on the second floor. Going ahead in time to 4 o'clock this afternoon, Agriculture, Chesapeake, and Natural Resources, Agriculture Subcommittee. They'll be meeting in the House South Subcommittee room on the second floor of the GAB. Also at 4 o'clock, Transportation's Highway Safety and Policy Subcommittee. They will be meeting. They're in House Committee Room A in the lower level. and the LGBTQIA plus caucus meeting today is canceled. Looking ahead then to Thursday, January 29th. Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus is meeting at 7 a.m. in the 7th floor House North Committee room, so up on the 7th floor, obviously. County, Cities, and Towns Subcommittee number 2 will be meeting, also bright and early at 7. They'll be in the House South Subcommittee room on the 2nd floor. Then, immediately upon adjournment of that subcommittee, County, Cities, and Towns Subcommittee number 3, they will also be in that same South Subcommittee room. At 7:30, the Hampton Roads Caucus will be meeting. They'll be up on the 7th floor South Subcommittee room, so that'll be going on, that caucus meeting. At 7:30, Public Safety's Subcommittee number 2. They'll be meeting on the House North Subcommittee on the 2nd floor. That's at 7:30. At 7:30 as well, Health and Human Services Behavioral Health Subcommittee will be meeting in House Committee Room C. And then once the subcommittee is finished, 8:30, if they finish or whatever, get going, HHS, the full committee will be meeting in the same room at 8:30. And then once the full committee is finished, a different subcommittee of HHS, this time Health Professions, will be meeting. All that's taking place in House Room C on the 2nd floor. Aviation Caucus is meeting tomorrow at 8 a.m. in the Senate Subcommittee Room 600 North on the 6th floor. Committee on Transportation is meeting at 9 tomorrow. House Committee Room B on the 2nd floor. Democratic Caucus then are meeting before session at 11:15 in House Room 1. Republican Caucus 11:30 in House Room 2. Mr. Speaker, all of these announcements are listed on the House meeting schedule online, but that is all the information I have right now.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Mr. Speaker, I move that when the House adjourns today, adjourn to reconvene tomorrow at 12 noon.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring, moves that when the House adjourns today, it adjourn to reconvene tomorrow at 12 noon. As many in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring. The motion is agreed to. The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do now adjourn.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring, moves that the House do now adjourn. As many in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion is agreed to. The House stands adjourned until tomorrow at 12 noon.